Episode 14 of Humrahi begins in the aftermath of Sayhaan and Elif's marriage. The couple should be entering one of the happiest phases of their lives, but the atmosphere quickly becomes tense because Sayhaan's health takes a frightening turn. Elif is deeply worried about him, especially because she knows that his illness is much more serious than an ordinary medical problem. Although she wants to enjoy her new life with her husband, she cannot ignore the fear that something terrible may happen to him. The biggest problem is that Sayhaan has still not been told the complete truth about his condition. Ghazi Yousuf, Sayhaan's father, is desperately trying to protect his son from the devastating reality. He knows that Sayhaan's heart is failing and that a transplant may be necessary, so he begins concentrating on finding a suitable donor. His actions come from a desire to save his son, but keeping such an important secret creates an enormous emotional burden for everyone around Sayhaan. The official episode synopsis confirms that Ghazi Yousuf struggles to find a donor while Elif's anxiety continues to grow. Elif is caught in an extremely difficult position. She has only recently married the man she loves, and now she has to watch his health deteriorate while knowing that people around him are hiding information. Her fear becomes increasingly obvious because she understands that Sayhaan may not have much time if a donor is not found. Instead of being able to openly discuss their future, she is forced to live with uncertainty. Meanwhile, Sayhaan begins to notice that something is wrong. The behavior of the people around him changes, and their attempts to protect him eventually make him suspicious. Rather than feeling reassured, he senses that important information is being kept from him. This eventually leads to the central revelation of the episode. Sayhaan discovers the truth about his failing heart. The revelation completely changes Sayhaan's emotional state. Until this point, he has been trying to build a future with Elif, believing that his marriage represents a new beginning. Suddenly, he is confronted with the possibility that his life may be much shorter than he imagined. The discovery is devastating because it forces him to reconsider everything, including his marriage, his plans, and the choices his father has made on his behalf. What hurts Sayhaan almost as much as the illness itself is the feeling of betrayal. He realizes that the people closest to him knew about the seriousness of his condition but chose not to tell him. From his perspective, this means that decisions about his own life were being made without his knowledge. The official synopsis specifically highlights that Sayhaan feels betrayed by people he trusted as he is forced to confront the tragic reality threatening his life. His relationship with Ghazi Yousuf therefore becomes even more complicated. Ghazi's intentions are protective, but Sayhaan does not necessarily see them that way. For Sayhaan, hiding the truth means taking away his right to decide how he wants to live the time he has left. This creates an emotional conflict between a father trying desperately to save his son and a son who wants honesty and control over his own destiny. Elif also suffers because she is placed between the two men. She loves Sayhaan and wants to support him, but she is also aware of how serious his condition is. Her silence may have been intended to protect him, yet it risks damaging the trust between them. The episode therefore presents a painful question: is hiding the truth an act of love, or does it ultimately cause greater harm? The episode's emotional impact comes from this contradiction. Sayhaan has finally obtained the happiness he wanted with Elif, but his failing heart threatens to take that happiness away. His marriage, which seemed to mark the beginning of a peaceful chapter, now becomes part of a much more tragic struggle.